the world of 2002. I want to go back.
I got a Glock in my...
For those curious, I was born in 2002, and this was a weird era of time. The cartoons were better, movies weren't taken as seriously, life just seemed better back then. And the absolute worst thing to come out of this decade, live-action cartoon adaptations. Holy shoot, these things were everywhere. Garfield, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Dragon Ball, dragging my balls across. But because we're still in Spooky Month, it makes sense to do a cartoon adaptation often associated with Halloween. The Scooby-Doo movie, released in 2002. Scooby-Doo had some interesting names attached to it. Not only was the script written by James Gunn, the director behind good Marvel movies and bad DC ones, it was also directed by the human equivalent of Puppy Aids, or as I like to call him, Raja Gosnell. Starred names such as Freddie Prinze Jr., Matthew Lillard, and Linda Cardellini, and is somehow fondly remembered amongst the slew of cartoon adaptations released at the time. So let's take a look at it. And I know it's annoying for YouTubers to do this, but if it works, I'll give it a shot. If you enjoy the video and aren't already subscribed, what do you do? Consider subscribing, leaving a like, comment what your favorite part of the video was, and what you'd like to see on the channel next. Any and all support is greatly and humbly appreciated. We get an opening song from Shaggy, literally called Shaggy Where Are You on the soundtrack, which makes no sense. Is he referring to himself or the character? Even then, the opening doesn't even have Shaggy's verse, but the deleted opening, which featured similar animation to the original series, did feature his verse. Why this didn't make the cut is beyond me. It's actually really creative. Shaggy fit that whole sandwich in a flashlight. That shit tastes nasty. We first see Daphne, who's been captured by the Luma ghost. Daphne is played here by Sarah Michelle Gellar. Give him credit, she's about as bland as the original character.
Fred, come in, Fred.
Velma's played by Linda Cardellini, and alongside Shaggy's actor, she actually is a highlight. She gets the personality down pretty well, and as for Mindy Kaling, showing the poster of that show in this video should be listed as a war crime. More than what can be said for Freddie Prinze Jr., who plays Fred, which is cheating. Hey, Fred! Bitch gonna die tonight! Luma Ghost catches up to Scooby-Doo, and... yeah, I know he doesn't look all that great. Yeah, there's no hiding it. As a kid, whatever, but as an adult, this shit looks awful. A lot of the effects look like they were just sprites in Adobe stock. Purple lanky monster. Alright, put that shit in. Ugly ass Great Dane. Okay, awesome. Mendick.
You're gay! He's gay! I'm not.
I like how they played the Scooby-Doo music like this was an amazingly built up effect. We're 5 minutes in. Scooby should have been the first thing we saw. If they really wanted some good background music, this would have been the perfect fit.
What the fuck?
With that, we're introduced to Shaggy, played here by Matthew Lillard, and it's no secret, he plays the part pretty well.
There's a ghost right behind me, isn't there?
It's also notable that they made fun of his performance in Looney Tunes Back in Action 1 year later.
You made me sound like a total space cadet, man!
I'm sorry if the other way. I was trying to be real to your character.
I don't get that. He played the part perfectly. I don't know. That was just another lame joke in a lame movie, so whatever. With that, the Luna Ghost chases after Shaggy and Scooby. Fuck! So much of this movie reminds me it was made in 2002. They take down the Luma Ghost and...
I'm so over this damsel in distress nonsense.
And how much of this movie is just her being a damsel in distress? Most of the fucking film. How does your whole ass vehicle come in and do that much property damage? It's the Mystery Machine. It could be goddamn Pamela Anderson coming through and I wouldn't... Oh, spoke too soon. Why is Pamela Anderson in this? Not only that, the Mystery Machine is only in another 2 scenes and then they just forget about it. Same with Pamela Anderson. Why is she here? All of a sudden, I want to support the filming of Pam and Tommy.
Fuck you, Seth Rogen.
This is a victory for any celebrity who wants to make a quality, ecologically friendly action figure.
You action Tommy Lee's figure. Ayo! They reveal the identity of the Luma Ghost.
Oh, man, Smithers!
How could you, Pamela? I am a lover boy of George Clooney in proportions.
Okay, my boy's valid. That's fucking Pamela Anderson. And Tommy Lee was fucking Pamela Anderson. Oh, shit. I haven't actually watched Pam and Tommy. Don't worry, I'm not going to.
Fred, how is the ghost able to fly?
I can answer that. These balloons fill with a high...
You could have just said he was on a flying broom and I would have bought it. Nerd.
Buckle up, duckies, cause we got her!
I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Motherfucker escaped. I know, but... Fuck you mean you know? You activated that shit.
No!
What? So it's pretty clear they're playing the fact that Fred's kind of a douche, and a fight breaks out between Velma and Daphne.
Daphne!
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's the ascot?
Yeah, I gotta do it.
Daphne!
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
What's he asking?
But Shaggy, being the neutral stoner he is, tries to dissipate the violence.
Fred, you're the big banana.
Wow, I can't believe I have to use this clip again.
You're gay!
With that, we get the same old shtick with these kids' movies.
I quit.
Yeah, so everyone goes their separate ways, which I buy for everyone except for Fred. What is he going to do outside of being a live-action Johnny Bravo?
Fred on Fred, the many faces of me.
Oh, he writes a fucking book. You ain't a New York Times bestseller, bitch. Now I'm gonna read Icebreaker.
Is this my pussy?
We cut to 2 years later, so naturally, Scoob's still alive. Like, Scoob, I need to show you something, man. What is it, Raggy? It's a movie, Scoob. It's called Marley and Me. Oh, you want to talk about Ref, Raggy? You want to talk about Ref? Let's talk about that shit you did in Scoob. No need to get personal, Scoob. I'm a rockin' ratoon. I'm a fucking cartoon, Raggy.
Oh man, talk about toasted.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing with that.
Is a chocolate-covered eggplant burger.
Eggplant burger? Congratulations, vegans, you've ruined burgers. First tofu eaters, and now you. We're introduced to the concept of Spooky Island, which Shaggy and Scooby are invited to, but they're skeptical.
Hydrochloric? Right, or hydrochlonic, but that's for a whole different reason, man.
Fuck!
And all you can eat.
All you can eat?
I'm suddenly Scooby-Doo.
You just called me I Show Cow.
The gang reunites at the airport. Fred wrote a book that ain't nobody fucking reading. Daphne knows karate, and Velma works at NASA. Velma works at NASA!
Hey, where's Scooby?
Scooby in drag? Scooby-Doo's drag race? Fuck, man. Nah, no one could replace RuPaul. But I can try. Ru Queens ran before me. As always, I've insulted the Rudges. But quite frankly, I don't give a ruck what they say. They bore Spooky Air, which I like to believe is this universe's equivalent to American Airlines. What the ruck do you mean you wear your... What the fuck do you mean wear your reat belt? Ruck you! Sir, it's just... You know what? It's a dog. Let's euthanize this bitch. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, we're gonna put you down in a fucking coffin. We're introduced to Mary Jane, played by Isla Fisher, and I think one of my favorite in-jokes in film history has to be that her name is Mary Jane, a nickname of marijuana.
Talk about toasted.
Scoob sees a cat, and we ain't having none of that.
Scoob.
See?
So they arrive at Spooky Island. When was this released? Not having an Outkast song would have been weird in this case. I will say I like the design of Spooky Island. It's basic, but it gets the job done. It gets the idea across.
It's marvelous to see you out on top.
We're introduced to Mondo Various, played by Mr. Bean himself, Rowan Atkinson. And if you're wondering if he's wasted or if he's actually funny, my first reaction to seeing Rowan Atkinson being in this film is, why the fuck is he in this? Oh, he's the fucking villain, ain't he? Yeah, Scooby has never been the most unpredictable, but I will say, there's a twist down the road that is so stupid and so unbelievable, you couldn't predict it until halfway through the movie. For a Scooby-Doo flick, that's impressive.
Melvin Doo?
Scooby.
Hold on, there's just a guy in this universe named Melvin Doo? I want to see a spin-off with that guy.
Got a bag of, hamburgers here. Just walk into the dark, shadowy part of the forest where no one can see you.
Okay. We cut to Daphne meeting a voodoo guy played by Miguel A. Nunez Jr. And trust me, it's definitely him. He's in like 3 scenes. Blackadder is in 3/4 of the movie. Scooby meets the monsters. I've seen my mom's tits and somehow this is a worse sight.
Allegedly.
But we get a fake out and Shaggy doesn't believe Scoob about the monster.
Monster! Monster! A monster?
The only thing I've ever...
Daphne brings Shaggy and Scoob to the castle the voodoo guy talked about, but they're hesitant. I will say for the writing flaws this film has, I am glad it's as well designed as it is set-wise. I could see something like this in Night of 100 Frights or Unmasked. We don't talk about that third one, though. Okay, so there's like a solid 10 minutes where all of the cast almost gets axed, but it's so rushed, so let's just cut to the stupid brainwashing plot. A plot that's way too complicated for a cartoon where they take the mask off and it's the goddamn janitor or something. Alright, this was a Raja Gosnell joint. Daphne finds a weird contraption and they take it back to one of the hangouts on the island.
Nagutauna. He believes your theme park's been built on enchanted ground. The voodoo man who shrewdly tricked me into going to the castle.
And you me?
All right, guys.
I'm a suspect.
More importantly, how are the other two suspects? They've been in about 5 scenes collectively. I forgot Tattooed Gargamel was even in this movie. Velma talks to a guy she met earlier, which is funny that the writers thought for a second Velma was straight. Who should see the shit they do with her in the sequel? We have a flashback, and remember how I said the twist wasn't predictable until halfway through? Yep, Scrappy-Doo, arguably the worst thing to ever come out of this franchise, is the film's villain. I mean, he's just a cameo. They didn't animate this for one scene. You know that little bitch comes back.
Oh god, he's peeing on me!
Get it? It came out of his puppy! Get it? Get it? It came out of his puppy penis! Monsters catch up to the gang back in the present, and I think it's here that somehow the Scooby-Doo CGI looks good, but the monster CGI, oh, that never looked good. Fred and Velma get captured, and the next day we're hit in the balls with a Sugar Ray cameo. Do I need to remind you this came out in 2002?
Yo, the biatch was like, what? And I was like, later on.
Oh no, he's a member of Jersey Shore, get him! Shaggy and Scooby find Fred, but he's possessed. I will say, there's some creativity to the escaping Fred scene, but it's quickly ruined by a useless fight between Shaggy and Scooby.
Friends don't quit!
Shaggy stumbles upon the evil plan involving a bunch of souls of past and present Spooky Island visitors. And yeah, these souls look weird.
I know. But I'm still the best looking protoplasm get here. I mean,
Fred, you could be shit from a butt and I wouldn't find you attractive.
You could use a little sunlight.
Whoa, why is Velma's Hamanka Jamanga's straight Junkaroo so present? It's still less sexual than the sequel.
I can look at myself naked.
I am suddenly Velma Dinkley. Let me see them titties. Just kidding, you guys. I like men.
You're gay!
The gang reunites, except for Scooby, because he's the center of the major evil plot. So the gang mounts a mission to save Scoob and Spooky Island. And it does feel like a Scooby-Doo plan, so props to them. Shaggy catches up to Scooby, and it's this scene that makes me realize that they got Shaggy and Scooby's relationship down to a T. They did it well in Scoob 2, which is one of the few highlights that movie actually had.
On the count of let's make it 5.
Who the fuck counts to 5? At least make it 3. That's what your dumbass get. And the soul effect was already hideous, but something about Scooby-Doo's soul is just scary as shit in this movie. But things go sideways, and it turns out Mondo Various wasn't the mastermind, but why the fuck is Scrappy in this? On one hand, it makes sense. Scrappy is the most hated thing in this franchise, but you couldn't have come up with a better twist that made sense. It didn't even have to be a good twist. It could have been a simple one like the cartoon I'm pretty sure no one here would watch. They probably watched this dumpster fire. The Mega Scrappy effect is probably the worst of these effects, but I'm tired of bitching about that, so let's get to the climax. It's very standard. Daphne versus the wrestler dude is probably the best part. That being said, it goes quick, and the gang defeats Scrappy.
I would have gotten away with it too, if not for your meddling son of...
I get it, he was gonna curse. The gang enjoys the rest of their vacation, and we get possibly the funniest part of the movie, Shaggy and Scooby eating hot peppers. Okay, while it's not perfect, I certainly wouldn't call it a good movie. It's got a goofy charm I do associate with Scooby-Doo. It's definitely not a masterpiece, but considering its competition and its niche, it does fine. Until next time, we're going to talk about the scariest movie ever. Skinkamaree.
You don't have the scrote for this job, Pally!